All right, here we go. The last endgame draft of the offseason here. Not my last draft, but the last draft with the endgame community. It looks like, okay, we're good. Just making sure everybody is on and ready to go. As usual, it is a PPR. 1 QB, 2 running back, 3 wide receiver, 1 tight end, 1 flex. Paid redraft league. Just me, no Pierre. I will be drafting from the 6th. Not necessarily my favorite spot, but we'll make it work. So here we go. No need to delay. Sean Wan on the clock with the 101. Of course, I will be answering as many questions as I can while I draft here. So no surprise, Jefferson off the board. Pretty standard so far. Jefferson, Chase, Tyreek. Let me get through my first pick here, and then I'll start going through the questions. Woo-wee! Diggs at the 4. Diggs at the 4. How are we feeling about Diggs at the 4? Get your guys. Get your guys. Kelsey at the 5. All right, well, normally I would just smash Cooper Kupp here. But he does have this hamstring thing going on. They're saying he's day-to-day. I'm not super worried. But also, I haven't gotten Bijan Robinson in any of these drafts yet, I don't think. I'm going to get Bijan Robinson. Let's get him. Let's do it. Let's get Bijan. All right. Anthony's saying, second pick, ESPN, 10-team standard, 1 flex, CMC or Chase. The CMC. Standard scoring, I'm always favoring the running back. So I like Chase a lot, but I think in standard scoring, you got to go CMC. All right, Sebasan with the super chat. Thank you. 2 QB, full PPR, 12 teams. Got the 9th pick. Should I draft QB first? Okay, 2 QB. I say this over and over. 2 QB, I'm drafting a QB in the first round, if not the first 2 rounds. It's 2 QB, meaning you have to start 2 QBs. You don't want to be QB-less, or you don't want to be Baker Mayfield is my QB2 team. So I think with the 9th pick, I'm probably going QB. Now, on the way back, that's when you can decide to go QB or not based on who's there. But I'm going QB at least in the first round. If not the first round, definitely in the second round. But don't wait too long on QB there. All right, so quite a few running backs already gone. We've already seen the big 3 running backs already drafted. Pretty early for these drafts. Ronnie's saying, what's up? Back at the 8 spot reaching. CMC at the 8 is great. Definitely not a reach. That is definitely not a reach. Great pick there. Okay, so Anthony meant full PPR, not standard. Full PPR, I'm going Chase. Definitely Chase in full PPR. This is interesting here. Where is Creator? There goes Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp that just feels like stealing. Hammy or not, that just feels like stealing. I definitely think Kupp at the 10 is not too risky. They said he had a setback. Sean McVay said he had a setback and he's now day-to-day. But day-to-day is usually pretty minor. Like what you don't want to hear is like week to week. So we might look back on Cup at the 10 and be like, why did we let Cup fall to the 10? What were we thinking? I don't think Michael Thomas ever had a lingering hammy issue. It was like ankle, then it was toe. I mean, yeah, certainly, look, hammies can linger. Hammies can linger. He's 30 years old, so you got to be a little bit of worried there. But I mean, Cup at the 10, this is usually a guy who's going like top 5. Yeah, I definitely agree with this. It's not good to hear setback and hammy. That is certainly not good. That is certainly not good. But I mean, I don't think you can just completely stop drafting Cooper Kupp because of that. All right, we're definitely getting a wide receiver run now. All right, well, I'm gonna have to reach a little bit on wide receiver here because I do not want to be hung out to dry at wide receiver. In a 3 wide receiver league. So Sebastian saying, who's a good 9th pick? I mean, I think for QBs, you're looking at obviously Hurts, Mahomes, Allen, Lamar, Burrow, Fields, Herbert, Lawrence, and then you're probably looking at Deshaun probably at 9. I'm trying to think if I'm forgetting anybody. Probably like Deshaun at 9, somebody like that at 9. But you never know. Somebody ahead of you might go. A couple people might take running backs or wide receivers, and then you can get one of those other guys. You just never know. DJ Moore in the 2nd. That might be a first for us. And this is why I was okay reaching on Calvin Ridley. Because these wide receivers are going to dry up so quick in this draft. Sal asking, who's a better player for week 1, Charbonnet, Flowers, or Pirine? Definitely Flowers for me. Definitely Flowers. And don't forget, guys, our start sit videos will be out this weekend. That's the other thing. We are a week away. We are a week away from an NFL game that actually matters. This time next week, we will be sitting down getting ready to watch some real football. Oh, man. I cannot. How is Tony Pollard in the third round? I almost took him. I almost took him over Ridley. How is everybody passing on Tony Pollard? Oh, man. I was really hoping he would get past. Really hoping he'd somehow make it back to me. Tony Pollard, third round. That could be a league-winning pick right there. That is crazy. I mean, even Henry in the third is pretty good. Do I reach again? Man, this is. I mean, these wide receivers on the board, pretty. This is true. Picking more before Pollard is insane, but it did work out. I mean, those picks should definitely be flipped. But he got both of them. It worked out. It worked out. That was a tough pick there. I'm not going to lie. I went with Andrews. I just felt like he's the last, like the only other real tight end I feel great about. There's definitely a lot of wide receivers I like, but it felt way too early for them. So I did consider Watson there. Definitely considered him. All right. Royland, you're a big supporter, so I'm going to answer this, but these are the questions I really dislike answering because it's an impossible question. I mean, how should I advise my brother to crush his in-laws league, 14-team standard scoring, 6-point passing touchdown? Well, I'll say in standard scoring and 6-point passing touchdown, QBs are just going to dominate. QBs are going to dominate that. Like, they're going to absolutely just crush everybody. Like, you're going to have QB scoring 30 points, 35 points, and you're going to hardly have anybody else even reaching 20 points. So get an elite QB that can throw a ton of touchdowns. So Mahomes, Burrow, Allen, Herbert, get a guy that can throw a ton of touchdowns. And then in standard scoring, get a bunch of running backs. Get a bunch of running backs. That's all I got. That's all I got for you. Jaws, we're not sure. We were just talking about that. Pollard in the third round, absolute steal. Steal of the draft right there. Can't imagine we'll see a bigger one there. All right, so starting to see some QBs. All right, since he's a late round guy, I'll talk about him. So David asking, how you feeling about Marvin Mims? Seems like a lot of buzz around him the last couple of days on Twitter. Yeah, I like Marvin Mims. I think he's a good prospect. I think he'll be a good player. But you got to remember, like, okay, he'll get some chances here early however many games Judy ends up missing. Now, Judy didn't go on short-term IR or anything, so you figure he's going to probably miss less than 4 games. And you also got to remember, Mims is a rookie. They still have Judy. They still have Sutton. It's hard for me to see like a big path for him this year, unless, of course, Judy keeps getting hurt, which Judy seems to always get hurt, to be honest. The guy's like, you go look at his injury history, and it's like this big. It's ridiculous. So maybe he'll get some chances as the season goes on, but I think Mims is probably more like a next year guy than this year. But maybe late in the season he can come on. Michael saying tough picking. The middle spots are definitely the toughest spots. They're the toughest spots. Like when you're at the end, you can kind of look at what other teams are doing, kind of how the runs are going, base it off that. When you're in the middle, I mean, it's like you make a pick and then you got to wait a full round. Then you make a pick and you got to wait a full round. Middle is brutal for sure. Opinions on Kupp. I still like. I'm a little nervous about Kupp. I mean, I took Bijan over him at the 5 here, or the 6. I mean, which I normally wouldn't do. But you got to be a little bit worried. I mean, a 30-year-old wide receiver having a setback with a hamstring, you got to be a little nervous. But I mean, even if he misses a game or two, like this happens every year, right? People overreact to guys who may be hurt early in the year or maybe missing a game or two, as if like weeks 1 or 2 or 3 even matter. And look, I get pushback on this all the time, like, oh, they matter. Like you can start 0-3 and still win your championship. You can start 0-4 and win your championship. I'm not saying you should try to start that. I'm just saying, like, if Kupp misses a game or 2, it'll be okay. You'll be fine. You'll be okay. So, I mean, maybe drop him out of my, top 5 just because of the potential. Like, does this linger all year? Does this affect him all year? But I'm not going to drop him too much. I think getting him at the 10 was an absolute steal tonight. The guy has been nothing but insane with Matthew Stafford. Gibbs in the 4th. That's nice value right there. That's a good pick for sure. Anthony, do you ask me, do I compete in any big money leagues? Not anymore. I used to. Man, I'm not even gonna lie. Like I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try to win all these leagues. But with the channel, like it's and look, I'm happy about it. Like I'd rather focus on the channel. But fantasy football, like playing fantasy football, is like a backseat to the channel these days. So, which is great. Look, I love the channel, of course. So it wouldn't really make sense for me to go play some huge buy-in league and then barely give it any attention. It's just throwing money away. So I used to, but not anymore. Just don't have the time with the channel. But that's okay. It's okay. I'd rather have the channel. Not complaining over here. All right, so another Cooper Kupp question. I should have put Cooper Kupp on the thumbnail in the title. Maybe I would have just gotten like tons of views. I think I'm still okay taking him. Like, I could argue taking him where I took Bijan. I took Bijan because I don't think I've gotten Bijan in any of these drafts yet. I could be wrong. Can't remember, but I don't think so. And I wanted to make sure I have some Bijan, so I took him. I could have taken Kupp there. I'd be okay with that. Higbee or Fryermuth for week 1? Well, if Cup's out, if Cup is out, I might say Higbee. But right now, I got to go Fryermuth. But if Cup actually is out week 1, I might have to go Higbee. Here you go. Hey, I drafted Najee. I still won leagues. That's not true. I made it to the finals in 5 of my 7 leagues, and I only won 1. That was pretty frustrating. But last year was such a weird year with that Week 17 game. Really changed a lot of the Bills Bengals game. Really changed a lot of leagues. So, I was happy to make it in 5. But yeah, I mean, you can go. I've gone back when the regular season was only 13 games, not 14 like it is now. I went 1-5 and made it to the finals. Like, you should be able to get by without these guys for like a week or two. It's like everybody looks like, oh my God, he's gonna miss a couple games. It's like it's okay. Like if it was a couple games at the end of the season, that would be huge because you need them. A couple games early in the season, it's okay. It's not a big deal. Now I'm not, but again, I mean, I think the worry for Kupp is 30-year-old wide receiver that had a setback on his hamstring, and now you do have to like wonder, is this going to be an issue all year? I think that's fair. I think that's like a fair thing to worry about. Eckler for Gibbs in a 12-team league, keep 5. I mean, if there's a good chance Gibbs will be one of your keepers next year, maybe. But I still would probably rather just roll with Eckler. Like, I don't think Eckler is going to be bad this year. So, like, I get that, like, next year you may wish you were keeping Pierce instead of Eckler Gibbs instead of Eckler because Gibbs, would be like a 22-year-old wide receiver, running back, maybe coming off a nice season. Eckler going to be a 28-year-old running back, a free agent, who knows where he's going to be. So I get all that, but also, man, I just think Eckler is going to significantly outscore Gibbs this year. I'd rather just have that. Unless you just have this really old team and you're not going to have any good keepers next year and you want to ensure that you have a good keeper. But I think I'd probably keep Eckler. Ridley and Kirk. This is the second time I've done the Ridley Kirk thing. I'm okay. I'm okay with 2 guys on the same team at wide receiver. I don't mind that. Appreciate it, Anthony. Yes, it's doing great. I'm very happy. Is Matt Harmon? No, we're not going to have time for Matt Harmon. I'm sure we'll have him on again next offseason, hopefully before the draft again, go over the rookies like we did this year. But we only have tomorrow's our last day, like our last day of the offseason. And then, like I said, Saturday we drop our start sit videos. So no Matt Harmon this year. Unless we bring him on during the season, but I doubt it. I'm sure he's super busy during the season too. Man, this draft is just making me do things I don't normally like to do. But I think I got to go Etienne here. Man, it's funny because I do these videos and I'm like, you can get Addison and Dotson and pick 100, and then end game leagues it's like their 5th round. All right, let's get some more questions here. Yeah, I think a Cup at 7, you're fine. I think you're fine. Actually, I'm gonna wait till let's wait till he's been picked. So who do you think replaces Jonathan Taylor for part of the year? I picked up Hunt just in case. I mean, I don't want, even if it is Hunt, I don't want him. It's probably going to be some combination of Deion Jackson, Evan Hull. Which guy gets more of the work? I don't know. My guess is Deion Jackson gets first crack because he's been on the team longer. He's not a rookie. But I could see Evan Hull overtaking him. Keith, when are you getting a Jags jersey? All these Jags players. Look, I am super high on this Jags passing attack. Talking about a generational quarterback in Trevor Lawrence with a fantastic QB offensive-minded head coach in Doug Peterson. Entering year 3. I'm all in. I'm all in on this Jags passing attack this year. Look, last year I was even saying, I'm like, I think the Jags are going to surprise a lot of people. Kind of like what I've been saying about the Falcons this year. Now it was easier to predict the Jags because they had Trevor Lawrence, not Desmond Ridder. But yeah, I'm all in on the Jags passing game this year. I think they're going to be fantastic for sure. All right, we do have a super chat from IVSE. Thank you. 12th pick, PPR, 1 QB, 2 running back through. So the same as this one. Got Lamb, St. Brown, London, Sanders, Brian Robinson, Hurts, Andrews, Hollywood Brown. As my flex, have Zay Flowers and Sutton. All right. I mean, that's a solid team. You got good wide receivers. Your running backs are, I think, good enough. You got a good tight end. You got a great quarterback. You got some possible flexes on your bench. I definitely like it. Well done. So asking if I meant to, it wasn't like intentional. I just thought Kirk was the best wide receiver there. Like, I'm not taking Pittman, Godwin, Deontay, Pickens, Hopkins, Hollywood, McLaurin, Addison, Dotson, JSN, Judy, Flowers. I'm not taking any of those guys over Kirk. So I just thought he was the best available wide receiver. So I took him. That was it. It wasn't like anything like, I'm going to stack the Jaguars or anything like that. I just took who I thought was the best available wide receiver on the board. Yeah, I mean, we see plenty of teams. Eagles, Dolphins, Bengals. I mean, those are the 3 that come to mind real quick that could support 2 very good wide receivers. So, again, Trevor Lawrence, probably the best QB prospect we've seen since Andrew Luck. I think he can do it this year. We'll find out, but I think he can. Do I like A.J. Brown better than the St. Brown? No, but they're close. But I like St. Brown a little bit more. Definitely. Woo, taking Hill at the 101. I mean, I like Hill, and I think he certainly could have a monster year. But, I mean, look, if he's your guy, go for it. I'd still go Jefferson, personally. All right, a defense question. Which offenses are you streaming? I mean, Bucks come to mind. Cardinals, at least until Kyler's back, and I'll probably still stream against them the first 2 or 3 games with Kyler. Who else? What other teams are like have just terrible? The Colts. You know, the Colts. Even though I do like Anthony Richardson, you got to think he's probably going to turn the ball over for a while. The Texans, the Panthers, the rookie QBs, always good to stream against. Pick 2, AJ Brown, Sun God, CD. I mean, those are all great choices, but I'm going Sun God and CD. Sun God and CD for me. Herb, should I trade Khalil Herbert for Njoku? I have Pollard, Brian Robinson, Warren at running back, and Laporta at tight end. No, you need. I don't really want. Like, I like Brian Robinson, but I don't know if I want Brian Robinson and Jalen Warren being my only running backs behind Pollard. So I think you need. Man, you guys are going to make me do some weird stuff in this draft. All right, well, if I'm going to take my third running back, I'm going to gamble on the upside. I'm going to gamble on the upside. PPR, who's number 3? I have them Jefferson, Chase, Hill. Those are my top 3. Yeah, Commanders defense week 1 is a smash defense for sure. For sure. Yeah, this is a definite end game. This might be the toughest one so far. I mean, I think this might be the first time I've had more running backs than wide receivers through 6 rounds. Like, in my life, ever, in any draft ever. Yeah, I agree. I don't know why Burrow dropped so much. He's definitely playing week 1. I definitely thought about it, but I can't take Lawrence over Herbert and Burrow just because I have 2 Jags. Like, if I was going to go QB there, I'm going Burrow. Yeah, I definitely like the Fields DJ stack if you can get it. Love both those guys this year. Oops. Higgins or Ridley, definitely Ridley for me. I like Higgins, but Ridley for me. I think Ridley's going to be a monster this year. Yes, I have 3 Jags. Travis Etienne fell way too far. Had to take him. Had to do it. Hey, last year, Kirk, Etienne, Ingram, and Zay Jones were good. I was going to have to actually contemplate Jonathan Taylor if he made it to me here as my fourth running back. So I'm happy he didn't fall to me because I don't know what I would have done if he did. And I'm going to have to honestly start contemplating wide receivers I don't even really like because there aren't any left. And it's a 3 wide receiver league. Who will have a better season, Kirk or Ridley? I definitely think Ridley will. Ridley's an alpha wide receiver, assuming they both stay healthy. I think Kirk will be kind of like what he was last year. He'll have those games where you're like so glad you started them, and he'll have those frustrating games where you wish you didn't start him. Ridley, alpha wide receiver, I think Ridley will definitely be better than Kirk. And what's up, Joe? Good to see you. Thanks for the super chat, by the way. I wouldn't say like, do I care about stacking? Like, it's not like in a best ball draft where I'm going to try to stack. Like, I'm going to actively try to stack players in a best ball draft. If I can stack players, like, you know, like if Trevor Lawrence had made it back to me in the 7th, I probably would have taken him there. But I'm not going to, like I said, like, I'm not going to take Trevor Lawrence in the 6th round over guys like Herbert and Burrow just to get the stack. I'm not going to do that. Herbert Johnston is a stack. I mean, I wouldn't say that's a stack necessarily. I mean, it could end up being a stack by the end of the year, but yeah, I wouldn't call that a stack. It would have to be like Herbert Keenan or Herbert Mike Williams. Hawkinson is not my third. I mean, for me, it's like number 1 is Kelsey, number 2 is Andrews, and then there's like, let's see. I don't want to say the names because they haven't been picked, so I'm going to do it in my head. So just bear with me. I think there's like 5 guys that I would have as TE3. Meaning I don't think there's a big difference between those 5 guys, whichever one they are. He's one of those 5 guys. I'll just say that. I'll leave it at that. Is CMC value a little less because of the news he won't play as much? I haven't heard this news. I have been saying this offseason I don't know if he necessarily gets that workhorse role because the 49ers are a team, you know, they're trying to win a Super Bowl. But I think he gets enough of a role that it doesn't matter. And he's so good. So I haven't heard I haven't heard any news on it, but yeah, I still think he'll be great. Yeah, I mean, underdog has certainly, definitely brought that more to the forefront. Although anybody who plays like DraftKings already knew about that. But yeah, I certainly don't think it's like a necessity. All right, so Royer asking, do you trade Jonathan Taylor or keep? I'm going to say the same thing I said on Tuesday. It depends. If you can get a great return for him, take it. If people are just going to lowball you, keep him. Especially if you have the IR spot. If you got an IR spot, you can just put him in IR and go maybe pick up Deion Jackson or Evan Hull and see what happens week 1. So you get a good deal, take it. You don't, keep them. And then your other question, I'm going to wait because those players haven't been taken yet. Trying not to talk about players who haven't been drafted yet. Yes, those are the 5 dudes, but I'm not going to throw it up there. Actually, nope, we're still missing one. Definitely on a bit of a tight end run here for sure. Hawkinson, Pitts, Kittle, Waller. Although I guess Hawkinson went a couple rounds ago. It just looks like he went recently because they're all to the end there. They've both been drafted, right? So I can talk about them. Make sure. Yes, it's funny. It's funny you asked this because tomorrow is the My Guys video, and Jahan Dotson is on there. And I don't necessarily say I like him better than Terry McLaurin, but I do say I could see him outscoring Terry McLaurin. So, for whatever that's worth. Pup is 4 weeks. Pup is 4 weeks. Minimum. Could go longer, but minimum. All right. Man. It's ugly. Ugly in these wide receiver streets when you need one. And then, yeah, to answer that question, Hot, Kittle, Pitts, Goddard, and Waller are the 5 tight end threes. I don't think these guys are going to separate themselves from each other. Sutton season? I don't know about that. It's more like I'm in a 3 wide receiver league and I hate my wide receiver season. But look, there's a path for Sutton. Obviously, early in the season, probably not going to have Judy. If Russ isn't completely cooked, like, is Sutton going to be awesome this year? Probably not. Is he going to be good enough as potentially my wide receiver 3 or flex? Hopefully. This is certainly not the type of team I normally draft. So this is definitely like a tight end and 3 running backs and only 4 wide receivers. Not normally my type of team. Getting a little out of my comfort zone here, but we'll see how it works. See how it goes. This one I'm going to answer. Dalvin Cook for Dameon Pierce, Antonio Gibson, or keep Dalvin Cook. Give me either of those guys over Dalvin Cook. I mean, you can even see in this draft here, you got Gibson's been picked. I mean, Pierce went. If you can get Pierce for Dalvin Cook, you smash it. But even Gibson, I would take for Dalvin Cook. I mean, I hope you're right. I hope he can have a massive year. I just don't see any Broncos wide receiver. I really don't see any Bronco having a massive year. I will be more than happy if he has a good year. I'll be okay if he gives me a good year. I'll take that. It's definitely tough out here, Michael, for sure. It's like I'm drafting against clones of myself. Right? It's like I don't get any values in these drafts, which is fine. I think I have my home league draft coming up, and I have a 2 QB draft with a friend of mine. I'm sure we'll crush those, but like you go to your home league drafts or whatever your friends drafts, and you're just gonna destroy them. You're just gonna destroy them. Like you're gonna get guys in rounds 8 or 9 that don't even make it to like round 6 in these drafts. They might be an offensive stream, but I wouldn't like last year. They were definitely an offensive stream against. I'm not ready to go there yet. I'd still rather stream against like the Bucks, the Cardinals, the teams with rookie quarterbacks. Let's see what Sean Payton can do with Russ. If Russ is still really struggling and looking terrible, then yeah, they'll become an offensive stream against again. Yeah, I certainly think this is a possibility. I don't think Sean Payton and the Broncos are completely committed to Russ if he doesn't get it going this year. Like if he still struggles, I can certainly see them trying to move on from him next year. All right. I'm gonna go. Did he get picked? Did I miss it? Did he get picked already? Of course. This draft. Man, this is just like team, not my guys. But I think I got to do it here. This is definitely not my type of team normally. We are just taking dart throws here. We are just taking wide receiver dart throws here, ladies and gentlemen. Definitely Khalil Herbert over Dalvin Cook. Khalil looks like the workhorse back in Chicago. Like Dalvin Cook, I think will be fine early, but eventually, like Brees is going to get healthier and it's going to get like 50-50. And then by the end, Brees might even like pull away a little bit. So I like Herbert. All right, how do I rank Freiermuth and Njoku and Ingram? Yeah, they're like tight end 4. So those other 5 guys are tight end 3. Freiermuth and Njoku and Ingram are tight end 4. Pick one. I hope it works out. That's kind of how I feel. I like them all, honestly. I like them all. So, yeah, I can't sit here right now and tell you I think one will be significantly better than the other. Scott, who would you start week 1? Rachaad White, Najee Madison, or James Cook? Well, we do have our start sit video coming out, our running back one Saturday. Highly recommend you check it out. I think it is a phenomenal video. I may be biased, but I really do think it's incredible quality. Very valuable. I'm going to go Rachaad White. Madison playing the Bucks. No, I'm out. Najee playing the Niners. I mean, I know he's going to get the volume, but against the Niners, don't love that. James Cook is okay, but Rachaad White's going to get the volume. It's the Vikings. I'm going to go Rachaad White week 1. Also, we will be going live, I think, every day starting Saturday to help you guys with Start Sit and last-minute draft questions. So be on the lookout for that as well. Simon Mooney or Gabe Davis. I'd have to go Gabe simply because like Mooney might be better week to week, but Gabe can like have 3 Mooney games in like 1 game. So like Mooney might get you like 9 to 12 for 3 straight weeks, and then Gabe gets you 30. And suddenly they have the same amount of points. You know what I mean? So I think I got to give a slight edge to Gabe. And I'm not even a Gabe believer. But look, I'm just taking shots here. I got a team with 3 running backs and a tight end in the first 6 picks. I am just taking wide receiver shots and hoping I get lucky. Not even lying. Not even going to like sugarcoat it. This is what I'm doing. Yes, definitely hold on to Tank Charbonnet, Zach Charbonnet, and Tank Bigsby. Definitely hold. I definitely have Addison higher than QJ. I like Addison a lot this year. But look, outside of this draft right here, when you look at like ESPN ADP, Yahoo ADP, even Sleeper ADP, Jordan Addison typically goes outside the top 100 players. So even though I like Addison more, you could draft Johnston and then like 2 rounds later still get Addison if you want. All right, RS German asking for more Superflex content. Maybe next year. It's super. I mean, it is starting to get more popular, right? I think it's starting to pick up popularity, which is good. Royland asking me to rank all. Okay. Gabe Davis, Michael Thomas, Tony, Jameson Williams, Thielen, Cobb, Boyd, Claypool. Gabe definitely number 1. I guess I would go. Man, I don't know. Maybe Tony then MT, but I could maybe MT then Tony. I'm not sure. Probably Boyd next. Then probably Thielen, Jameson, Claypool, Cobb. I think that would be my order. It's a pretty ragtag bunch right there. Yeah, those are my guys, right? They're all going to be on tomorrow's video. That's my whole list. That's the entire video right there. Those are my guys. I mean, if we had fantasy on April Fools, I would do like a my guys video and just put like, maybe I'll do that next year for April 1st, since it's a slow off season. I'll do like my 2024 league winners, and I'll just put all the guys I don't like on there. See who figures it out. See who understands that it's an April Fool's joke. All right, pick coming up here. I have no idea what to do. Let's see who's Mingo, Myers, Thielen. All right. Let's wait on that. All right. Speaking of Mooney, I'll take him here. Why do the Packers want Jonathan Taylor if they have Jones and Dillon? I don't think they made a serious offer for him. I think it's more like, hey, like, look, if you reach out to the Colts and you're like, what do you want for Jonathan Taylor? And they're like, we'll take a 3rd or 4th. I mean, look, Aaron Jones is old. He's still like pretty good, but he's an old running back. You can't like be leaning on him. Dillon, we've never really seen. Like, Jonathan Taylor is significantly better than both those guys. So I don't think they were like seriously trying to get Jonathan Taylor. If they could get him for cheap, they probably would have, but I think that was really it. I don't think they really were like seriously trying to get Jonathan Taylor or anything. So supposedly the Dolphins offered a 2nd. Irsay said no. I saw from a pretty reputable guy that no team even offered a 2nd. Would Irsay have said no? Maybe. But I mean, look, the NFL does not care about running backs. They don't. The only person who cares about running backs in the NFL is Kyle Shanahan, which is why he went out and traded for Christian McCaffrey. But look, his dad, if you were watching football, when was that? Like the 90s? Mike Shanahan, John Elway, the Broncos, right? He had that zone running scheme where like you could just plug and play any running back and they would be awesome. Just put a running back in there and they were great. He comes from that. He understands that. He implements the same thing. It's why running backs are always great in San Francisco. Most teams don't care, like don't value running backs at all. Yeah, there we go. Anthony knows. 97, 98, yeah. Terrell Davis. It was who was before? There was somebody before Terrell Davis. There was like, yeah, it was like every year was somebody different. Till Terrell Davis for a while. But most teams don't value running backs. So like I still think Jonathan Taylor is just gonna have to suck it up and play this year. I really do. I really do. Sugar Trey, well, I appreciate the super chat. Okay, I guess it's a little different. So now we're picking two between CD, AJ Brown, Sun God, and Garrett Wilson. I still go Sun God and CD, but I have Garrett Wilson and AJ Brown right behind those guys. So they're all great choices, but if I could pick two, I'm going Amon-Ra and CD. Oh, Keith gonna draft that. Keith, you better destroy that draft on ESPN. I don't know if you've looked at their ADPs yet. There are some ridiculous ADPs on ESPN. All right, Computer Kid saying, Pierre said you trade Judy for whatever you can get him for. I'm not quite there, but okay. But here's the thing. If you can't trade Judy right now, then it doesn't make sense trading him like before he comes back. You know what I mean? Like, so like I would wait for him to come back. Now, maybe like the week he comes back, you could try to trade him again when people know he's going to play. Because right now you're not going to get good value for him because people are like, well, I might not have him for 2 or 3 games. So wait till he's, they're like, hey, he's back at practice and he's going to play this week. Then you can start trying to trade him. Yeah. Has Dobbins even gone into the top 100? Last time I looked, Dobbins was picked 106 on ESPN. 106. Like, what? What? Crazy. Maybe he's inside the top 100 now on ESPN. I don't even know, but it was nuts. I agree. He's going to smash as much as a non-pass catching running back can smash, but for where he's being drafted, especially on you're getting him outside the top 100, yeah, Dobbins going to be great. Sure, Cameron, go ahead and send it over. I don't know if he'll still trade after week 1, but if you can get Devonta Smith for Evans and Judy, I would take it. I would take Devonta Smith for those guys, definitely. All right, so Cameron's 14-team league. He's got Burrow, Bijan, Javonte, Devonta, London, Goddard. Oh, you should have gotten hurt. You got the Eagles stack. Devonta and Goddard. Flowers, Brian Robinson, Elijah Moore, Charbonnet, Warren, Zay Jones, Marvin Mims on the bench. I think for a 14, there was some 14. What I don't know why I've always tongue twist this. There are some people who posted their rosters for 14-team leagues on Tuesday that were like, what? That's a 14-team? Like, that's incredible. This is still really good. I'd like a bit better RB2 than Javonte, but I think Brian Robinson can fill in while Javonte works his way back. So definitely a good team. All right, so Dobbins all the way up to pick 86 on ESPN. All right, let's see here. I don't want to completely just ignore running back. Still some running backs I like here. Do need some depth. Oh man, we already do 10 videos a week. We're going to be going live 6 times a week. Plus, by the way, we're going to be going live every Friday for members of Flock. So if you haven't joined yet, flockfantasy.com/endgame. We're going live every Friday to help you with your lineups. I don't know if we can squeeze in another video. I was thinking about either doing it, maybe doing it for Flock members. We'll see. We'll see. Yeah, Pierre does also do baseball, and the baseball season literally never ends. Like, it's still going. It doesn't stop. It's like they take like a couple. Some team wins the World Series, they have the parade, and then it's like opening day again. Just doesn't stop. You know, the funny thing to me about Dobbins, so saying Dobbins goes in the 6th most times, still great value. Totally agree. Like going into year 2 before he tore his ACL, everybody was on Dobbins. Now, I mean, we weren't really on Dobbins, but a lot of people were on Dobbins. We were like, he doesn't catch passes. He's pretty touchdown dependent. People were drafting him in like the 2nd, 3rd round. And of course, he tore his ACL. Okay, fine. Last year, people were still all over Dobbins. And I'm like, he just tore his ACL. I probably wouldn't be drafting Dobbins. And I kept saying over and over, in 2024, when none of you want to draft Dobbins anymore, I'm going to be all over Dobbins. And it's happened. Nobody like all these Dobbins truthers are like, I don't want him anymore. I don't want him anymore. When like this is the year to draft Dobbins. This is the year. So yeah, definitely Dobbins, I think one of the best values in drafts for sure. And he's been one of the best values in drafts the whole offseason. Yep, Saturday, running back start sit will be on your homepage. Make sure you check it out. And we'll probably be going live midday-ish sometime Saturday to either answer start sit questions, help you guys with last minute draft questions. So come join us. All right, 10 team Jefferson. So Hurts is your QB. That's good. Jefferson, Higgins, Christian Watson. That's pretty good. Andrews. That's good. Herbert, Cook, Jonathan Taylor. Obviously, that hurts. Charbonnet, Bigsby. Yeah, you're definitely weak at running back for 10 team. I don't know when you drafted this. Maybe you drafted it before the whole JT fiasco. You thought he was going to be your RB1. Definitely weak on running back for a 10 team, but I'm not sure what you can do. Because again, like unless somebody believes in JT and is willing to give you like a good running back, but probably not. So you're probably just going to have to like hold down the fort until JT comes back. All right, football trainers got Justin Herbert, Saquon Eckler. Wow, that's good. And Brees. You got Saquon Eckler and CeeDee. This is the key. This and St. Brown. Are those guys your keepers? They gotta be keepers, right? Like you can't have drafted all those guys. Jahan Dotson, Hawkinson. Yeah, that team is stacked. That team is stacked. You got like 1, 2, 3, 4 first or second rounders. Yeah, stacked. Miguel's got a 12-team, 3 wide receiver: Lamar, Swift, James Cook, Diggs, Watson, Brandon Cooks, Kelsey, Flowers. Okay. Richardson, McKinnon, Damian Harris, WG, Chark. I would like a little bit better wide receiver. Look, I'm going to say I would like better wide receivers in a 3 wide receiver league when I'm rolling with Ridley, Kirk, Evans, Sutton, Cabe, Mooney. Not my normal style. I would like better wide receivers. You really don't need Lamar and Richardson, to be honest. So overall, it's solid, though. I think it's solid. All right. What are we going to do here with this team? What are we doing with this team? Okay, so I just realized Creator took Tua as his second QB when he's got Josh Allen. All right. So we're going to play the QB streaming game in this one. Maybe I might go with him. All right, so I'm going to bring this one up because these are the kind of arguments that confuse me. So I don't get the hype on Mark Andrews. He busted last year, which he really didn't. I think he was like tight end 5. Plays in a stacked offense. But then give me Kittle 3 to 4 rounds later, who also busted last year, but he just happened to have 2 big games in the fantasy playoffs, but then not in week 17, and also plays in a stacked offense. But I would argue that the 49ers offense is way more stacked than the Ravens offense. Like, who do we think is getting more targets? Christian McCaffrey, Deebo Samuel, and Brandon Ayuk, or Rashad Bateman, Odell Beckham, and Zay Flowers? Like, definitely McCaffrey, Ayuk, and Deebo are getting more targets than Odell Beckham, who knows how many games he's going to last. Rashad Bateman, who knows how many games he's going to last. And Zay Flowers, who's a rookie wide receiver, who I do like, but he's still a rookie wide receiver. So I would actually argue the 49ers the Kittle is in a much more stacked offense than Mark Andrews. Standard league, would you take Bijan over CMC? Standard, PPR, half PPR, 2 PPR, 20 PPR, -5 PPR, 100 PPR. I do not care. I will take Bijan over CMC every time. Don't care. Come at me if you want. Maybe I'll be wrong. He's a rookie. He's phenomenal. He's in an incredible situation. Wherever he goes, or whatever the format is, if I'm debating between those two, I'm taking Bijan. Curtis Samuel could be a sneaky early season guy if Terry misses some games. Don't worry, no team evaluations tonight. No team evaluations. This is practice is over. This is the real thing. We will not be evaluating teams. I mean, I can just tell you right now, I don't like my team. I shouldn't say I don't like it. I mean, there's certainly players on here I don't typically draft. Like, I don't typically draft Mike Evans. I don't typically draft Gabe Davis. I don't typically draft Travis Etienne. But I kind of went with how the draft played out, how the board played out. It's gonna definitely be a challenge for me because I don't typically play these type of teams. So we'll see how it goes. All right, so Alex asking thoughts on Jahmyr Gibbs having production similar to Bijan. It's hard to see that just because one guy is a 216-pound running back who can handle 300 plus touches, can run between the tackles, can get goal line work, and the other guy is 199 pounds who didn't handle a workhorse role in college, won't handle a workhorse role in the pros. I do like Gibbs. He's an explosive runner. He's going to catch a decent amount of passes, but he's never going to be a guy like Bijan who get 300, 350 touches. Just totally different running backs in that sense. Yeah, no problem. Just it's the end of the draft. You got to auto. It's fine. My favorite team is the Commanders, but to be completely honest, these days, I just care more about fantasy than the Commanders. Like, I've seen them win 2 Super Bowls in my lifetime. I'm good. Tony Pollard at 3.3. Y'all really jumped the shark in these, man. Like I said at the beginning, I debated Tony Pollard where I took Ridley, but I knew if I didn't take a wide receiver there, I mean, my wide receivers are already bad. But yeah, Pollard at the 3.3, that was nutty. That was crazy for sure. So Clarence saying a possible trade, Godwin or Lockett for Gibbs. I'll be getting Gibbs. If you need running back help, I'd be okay trading either of those guys for Gibbs. I think it's fair. So if you're good at if you're deep at wide receiver and you need a running back, I think it's fine. All right, how are we going to finish this here? So he took Tajay. You hate Tajay. He has no ACL. First of all, I don't hate anybody. But second of all, I don't like Tajay in Dynasty because of the no ACL. But I think he's fine this year. Like all the reports are, it'll probably shorten his career, but he should be fine this year. And chances are, if Tajay sees the field, it's gonna maybe Tajay will be the third down back some or something, but for him to have real value, it's going to take a Henry injury. Henry injury probably not going to be week 1 or 2. Probably going to be later in the year when he doesn't really need his ACL because it's only like maybe 5-6 games left. So I like him this year as a handcuff to Henry. Alex saying, what is Dynasty? So Dynasty is basically fantasy football that doesn't end. You draft a team, and then you keep that team forever. Unless, of course, you drop people, trade people, whatever. So you draft this huge team of like 20, 25, 30, maybe 40 players, depending on the size of the league. And then that's your team. Kind of like real life, but fantasy. All All right, this is fair. Hines Ward didn't have an ACL, see how his career went, but he's a wide receiver, not a running back. We'll see. The last running back I can think of like Tyjae Spears was Todd Gurley. Now, he didn't come into the league like that, Todd Gurley, but he developed that, and then we saw how quickly his career. Boop. So, like I said, I like Spears this year. I don't like him long-term in Dynasty. Multiple seasons. You just every year, your team stays your team. Of course, you trade somebody, drop somebody, whatever, but your team stays your team. Ayuk and Dobbins for London and Sanders. I mean, it's fair. I think Dobbins will be better than Sanders, but I think London will be better than Ayuk. So it seems fair. Seems pretty fair to me. All right, last round. See what happens here. Yes, Cooper Kupp had a setback today. We talked about that. First 3 picks, 14-man league, Eckler, Olave, and Lamar. I think he did well. I like all those guys a lot. Can't complain about those guys. So I think Jeff is new here. Welcome, Jeff. Thoughts on a potential Jordan Addison breakout year? Or will Jefferson dominate the targets? I mean, Jefferson is still going to dominate the targets. But there's enough here for Jordan Addison. I mean, this is a top 5 passing offense. Adam Thielen was terrible last year, and he still finished, I think, like 20th in targets. And he ran the second most routes of any wide receiver. So there's definitely a potential for an Addison breakout, but Jefferson will still dominate the targets for sure. He's just too good. All right, I think Rithwick, if I pronounce that right, I think he's new here as well. Love Rachaad White in PPR this year. Definitely love Rachaad White. Dude. Think he'll be great. As your RB2, fantastic. All right. Time for my QB. Gino, welcome to the team. Don't let me down, Gino. I really only drafted Gino for week 1. At home against the Rams. Terrible defense. Sam Howell. I can't take Sam Howell in 1 QB league. Definitely high on Lamar. I like Lamar a lot. Think he's gonna be great this year. So next 3 picks: Pittman, Akers, and Kirk. I like Akers and Kirk, especially Kirk in the 6th round of a 14-teamer. That's good. I feel like that's too early for Pittman, though. I feel like you could have gone with somebody else. Except the difference is you have Burrow now. So when you activate Kyler off of IR this time, what are you going to do? Thoughts on DJ Moore this year? Wide receiver 1 upside. If you mean wide receiver 1 like top 12, yeah, I think it's in his range of outcomes. If you mean like the highest scoring wide receiver, no. I mean, it's like his ceiling. Matt, the first start sit video is dropping Saturday morning. Very excited for that. Very excited for that. All right, last pick coming up here. Deshaun Wan, who may have disappeared. So this is a good point from Alex. We're forgetting about Josh Palmer. Do you think QJ is going to produce more than Palmer eventually? I mean, Palmer's not really going to probably produce much. Remember, he was producing last year because Keenan Allen and Mike Williams were both missing a lot of time, which could happen again. But they drafted Quentin Johnson for a reason. They didn't draft him because they love Josh Palmer. Josh Palmer's fine. He's okay. He's nothing special. So I think eventually QJ will outproduce him. Hit like so I feel good about my draft. All right, if everybody hits the like button, Michael will feel good about his draft. So everybody hit the like button so Michael can feel good about his draft. All right, looks like Sean Wan is going to auto his last pick here. So while we count that down, guys, thank you for being on here tonight. This was an interesting draft for sure. I definitely did some things I don't normally do. It'll be fun to see how it plays out this season. Again, don't forget, start sit videos coming out Saturday. Running back coming out Saturday. We'll be live every day starting Saturday. Help you guys set your lineups, last minute draft questions, anything like that. So be on the lookout, guys. Yeah, this was definitely a different draft than normal. Even by endgame standards, this was a pretty different draft. All right, that's it. Those are 6 endgame drafts in the books. So good luck on all your drafts this week. And again, don't forget, we'll be live. If you guys want some help with that, check us out, flockfantasy.com/endgame. Get bonus articles, our weekly rankings, our weekly live stream on Fridays that we do for members to help you with your lineups. Underdog Fantasy, if you play best ball or if you want to do pick'ems this year, use code ENDGAME. They'll match your deposit dollar for dollar up to $100. I think that's it. I think that's everything, guys. Appreciate you guys always tuning in, asking questions, being here. Looking forward to a great season. Good luck, everybody. We'll see you on the live streams.